Hello, Watem here, welcome back to small Umineko When They Cry. Let us continue to this rather rude comment. Or maybe not. As soon as she began talking about chopsticks, her eyes started glittering. The smile she now showed for the first time was far different from the dignity she'd displayed before. More like something you'd expect from someone in her age. You could pick up all those grains of rice one by one. Okay, let's have a look at that. What? Tips? Grimoire? Donburi. Simply food served on top of rice in a deep bowl. The bowl is also called a donburi, hence the name. Many types of food can be served donburi style, including curry, kare-don, beef gyudon, or chicken and egg, oyakodon, meaning parent and child donburi. Certainly haven't heard that elsewhere.
それが困ったことに、次はスープでございまして。
As she imitated a shrugging gesture, Erika winked at everyone. Of course, no one was laughing at her. She obviously knew that soup came after hors d'oeuvre and a full course meal. Obviously, everyone knows that, right? I do feel like maybe making a quiz on YouTube. But most of the people who are watching probably already know this section. Oh well. Furthermore, Erika had noticed both that she'd been performing too perfectly and creating a sense of tension, and that Hideyoshi had tried to break the ice because he thought she was nervous. That's why she started acting a little childish and light-hearted, acting out for part of the guests, enjoying a harmonious dinner. Pretty soon, not only Kiryu, but everyone else caught on. Though she was an uninvited guest, she was apparently worthy of participating in a Nushiramiya family dinner. That in itself is a bit suspect. Not necessarily that she's the culprit, but it is suspicious how she would just so happen to arrive here and be so very clearly upper class. I'm not saying she's a suspect, but it is possible that someone else in the family had an intention for bringing her here.
本当にこの子、偶然の来客なの?
On the other hand, it is a story, so it could be coincidence forced by the story.
実は今日の親族会議にこっそり読んだ兄さんの隠し子じゃないの?
賢く場を和ますセンスもあるようだ。
Meanwhile, in reaction to that, Natsu is just sweating bullets.
マナーも見事じゃないか。あんな子が娘だったら悪くはないね。
Rest in peace, Jessica.
それはひでえぜ。ジェシカちゃんの達成がなくならな。
ひどいわ、ルドルフ兄さん。
どうしたんだい、ジェシカちゃん。
They're saying rude things about her.
頭痛かい？
私の評価がずんずん下がってる気がするぜ。
こりゃ本家の令嬢として負けられねえだろ。お前も日頃夏日おばさんに仕込まれてるテーブルマナーと貫禄で対抗してみろよ。
見たい見たい。
テーブルマナー見たい。
Oh, Rio.
ほら、はしゃぐのはマナー違反だよ。
Your innocence hurts.
さあさあ、ジェシカちゃん。お手本を見せてあげて。
There's no winning for her, is there?
おお、もちろんだぜ。
Jessica straightened up so much it looked like someone had poked her back with a pole. She had good posture, but it somehow lacked elegance. She looked, well, kind of like a triangle ruler. She sat at attention with her gaze fixed straight ahead, tried to bring her food to her mouth despite this, and failed miserably. Dad, who was sitting next to her, suddenly realized that something was up.
どうしたんだ、ジェシカちゃん。腹でも痛えのか。
Jessica turned bright red. Sorry, I can't help myself. We laughed our heads off. Jessica protested, still bright red. And Matsui scolded us for being too improper. Well, no matter how much we try to smooth it over, we are who we are. Couldn't pretend any longer. Still, that laugh really did help us to relax. We were so concerned about the guests getting nervous, we'd gotten even more nervous ourselves. Our chatter from the centre of this long table spread to both ends. And ultimately, the dinner went even more smoothly than usual. Until... envelope? Some delicious cheese and coffee, our peaceful meal came to an end. Yoda won unanimous acclaim, but praised for his skill by all present. After a short period of harmony following the meal, it was decided that we would return to the guest house. Normally, dinner tended to have a very dark atmosphere about it, and the adults would often keep that mood, as they moved straight onto a family conference. Why did my reading pace have to be that I'm reading moved as I'm saying mood? And however, perhaps because of this year's dinner had been oddly peaceful, everyone decided to take a break, the adults included. After eating, taking a bath, and relaxing while watching TV, I wonder if they'll gather again in the mansion with all this rain and resume that high-tension family conference of theirs. I'd rather not think about it. Apparently, Aunt Eva was getting really worked up, trying to convince the rest to start the family conference right away, but it didn't look like many people agreed with her. They'd probably call it quits for the night. Ah! Since I had guest house duty, Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were chosen to guide us to the guest house. Gotta be rough for Goda-san. Interesting. I'm pretty sure Shannon and Cannon had it last time. And most of the other times, at least. Even after making and cleaning up such an extravagant dinner, he also has the late night shift at the guest house. I heard that Kumasawa-san, old as she was, would be going to sleep soon. Seems she was assigned a spare room.
皆様をゲストハウスまでご案内させていただきます。
Now, the fact that they're bringing that up is certainly suspicious. Again, I don't feel like we've heard about that in the previous times. Kumasawa is going to sleep soon and getting a guest room.
エリカ様のお部屋もご用意できております。
ありがとうございます。
体調はどうです？具合が悪かったりはしませんか？ まあ、そうだよな。すっかり忘れてたけど、エリカちゃんは溺れてて流れ着いたんだよな。今日は無理しねえで、早く寝た方がいいだろうな。
全然平気です。
A bit too perfectly fine.
それよりも緊張と興奮でむしろ寝つけないくらいです。
And yeah, it's difficult to get to sleep on a new bed. Familiar one.
じゃあ遊ぼう。みんなで遊ぼう。トランプしよう。
Maria latched onto her, giggling. This lack of restraint peculiar to youth was very much like Maria. However, I really should be concerned for Erika's physical condition now.
マリア、トランプは私たちと一緒に遊ぼう。エリカお姉ちゃんは疲れてるんだってさ。トランプも好きですよ。一息つきましたら、ぜひご一緒させてください。
I feel like we're going to get some characterization by her constantly winning at cards to show her intelligence, would be my guess.
やったー。あれはどちら様ですか？
The Beatrice painting, I'm assuming? As she passed through the lobby of the entrance hall, Erika stopped walking. When you saw what she was looking at, the rest of us also stopped.
ああ、あちらは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ様でございますよ。
黄金の魔女。
何やってんだガキども。
And Battle has seen it before because he saw it earlier on in the day, I'm pretty sure.
さっさとゲストハウスへ引き上げるぞ。
Dad, Kirie-san, Aunt Eva, Uncle Hideyoshi, and Aunt Rosa all came over. The entire guest house party had gathered. However, Erika's gaze was captured by the portrait of a witch, and she simply stared at it for a while. What music's going to start playing? Oh, nope. It's Nighttime Rose Garden in Guest House.
ああ。
Don't recognise that background. Although maybe it's just I've forgotten it and changed for long.
親父は200億相当の黄金を隠し持っていて。
Is she going to solve the riddle?
その隠し場所をあの碑文に記したって言われてる。
Perhaps it was too early for them all to disperse into their individual rooms. As the relatives who had returned to the guest house all gathered on the first floor, continuing their chat. The topic was the witch's epitaph, which Erika had taken an interest in.
魅力的な謎ですね。誰にでも見られるところに堂々と張り出し、私たちの知恵に挑戦する。そういう挑戦大好きです。
ひゅー、エリカちゃんは案外ノリがいいな。謎解きとか好きなのか？
面白そうじゃないですか。そういう挑戦。多分金蔵さんはあの碑文によって跡継ぎを選ぼうというつもりに違いありませんね。
When she said that, the adult stopped moving. He slowly turned to face Erika.
どうしてそう思うの？
Aunt Eva spoke with a coaxing voice. Also, now that I think about it, envelope wasn't brought up. The envelope that always gets given to Maria one way or another. So, every now and then, there had been whispers among the relatives that whoever solved the Epitaph's riddle might be given the family's inheritance. This had been no more than wishful thinking, since such a thing had never been specifically stated. And yet, though she had only read it once, this outsider had already reached that conclusion. How had she come to it? No, that's not the problem. If you solve the epitaph, you can become the next head. She wasn't trying to make it sound like wishful thinking, but an outright fact. They closed in around Erika, asking why she was so sure.
大富豪が謎を解いた者に富を譲るというのは割とよくあるシチュエーションです。
Didn't catch what the name of this piece was. Which of Miracles? That's for chapter Smile le Soirée.
そしてご当主の金蔵さんはその碑文を新聞に載せたのではなく
And why do you know that?
お屋敷の中に掲示しました。
What's to say he didn't also publish it in the newspaper?
つまりこのお屋敷の人間を対象にした謎だということです。
そうだよな。この屋敷の中である以上、この屋敷に出入りできない者には解きようがない。
Except for our ways.
つまりこの屋敷の人間にじいさまは挑戦してきたってわけだ。
グッド。
That did not sound like good to me.
良い思考です。あの碑文が屋敷内にあったという一時からでもその程度のことを読み取ることが可能です。
First, this Frudo Erika girl seemed to be the fairly silent type.
グッド。
Guido. That apparently wasn't the case. As she grew excited by a challenge to a game of wits, she became much more talkative than I had imagined.
なるほどな。屋敷の中に碑文があるんは屋敷の人間に読ませるためってのは確かに道理や。
That being said, it would be easy enough, especially since it has been years, for people to bring it outside, also for the servants to bring it outside.
でも家督を譲る相手までも選ぶというのは言い切れるものなの？
この謎を解いて得られる宝がほんのささやかなものでしかないなら私もそこまでは思いません。
そうよね。隠された黄金の価値は200億。それはまさに後宮家の財産そのものだわ。
それを受け継ぐということは後宮家を引き継ぐことと限りなく同じ意味です。つまり碑文に込めた黄金の隠し場所という謎は後宮家の実質的な後継者選びに他ならないということです。
Maybe you could select the de facto successor, but not necessarily the de jure successor. The idea that the one who solved the epitaph would be chosen as the successor been passed around by some relatives for a while now. However, since it had never been specifically announced, it was nothing more than an optimistic dream. That being said, especially since they all have money issues at the moment, wondering if that was somehow... Can't be intentional, right? We're all having money issues? All four siblings? They don't know. Where was I going? But yeah, in any case, especially since they've all got money issues, one that gets all the money would have quite a bit of leverage over the de jure head if they're different. Thinking this, they decided to abandon all consideration of this point until the details were made clear. Erika had clearly declared that this uncertain point was in fact true. If one of the relatives had said it, people would have thought it to be merely an optimistic dream. However, when this was declared by a complete outsider, totally, those words seemed even more credible. Everyone remained silent for a while, slowly considering what those words implied.
ただ碑文がそこに存在するだけで
And quite notably, distracting away from Kinzo not being alive.
フルドエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。いかがでしょうか、皆様方。
Look at that demon being so cute.
横やりで申し訳ねえけどさ、
you want to play cards or not?
一応はうちの父さんが次期当主なわけだぜ。
Does Jessica know that Kinzo's dead? Forget if that's been brought up specifically. I mean, surely she'd have to. It might be possible to keep her in the dark.
隠し黄金を誰が見つける云々はともかくよ。見つけたら当主ってのはそういうことにはならねえんじゃねえかよ。
Jessica thought the treasure hunting part of the Epitaph was really fun. However, she couldn't help but let her expression grow bitter once they started talking about undermining her father's position.
私の推理から演繹する限り、金蔵さんは次期当主のクラウスさんに円滑な当主継承を望んでいないと考えられます。
どうしてだよ。
莫大な財産を持つ後宮家の当主なら政治的な意味で様々な影響力を持つことになるでしょう。ならば本来その継承は厳格であり、一切の紛れが入るべきではありません。
そうね。うちの人の好きな戦国武将の話でもよくあるわ。跡継ぎ候補が複数いたりすると大抵お家騒動の火種になる。
Yep. I've played enough Crusader Kings.
そやな。だからトラブルを未然に防ぐためにしっかりと後継者を指名しておくのが大切なんや。
What you do is you get an heir and a spare, and you disinherit the spare, whether that's the oldest or the youngest. And should the need arise, you can re-inherit them.
時には競合する後継者を粛清することさえあるんやで。
I think in Turkey? Yeah, in Turkey they'd basically, from memory, have to kill off all their siblings. In Ethiopia as well, they had basically the main line was all just trapped in a tower, and the next king would be selected from one of the tower members, who would then keep all the other people locked up to prevent them from trying to claim the kingdom. Yeah, succession crises generally weren't great, nor were the methods of avoiding them. Sengoku commander Hideyoshi admired Toyotomi Hideyoshi made his son-in-law Hidetsugu commit seppuku. It was rumored that he might have done this to make Hideyori, who was his real son and born after Hidetsugu, his true heir. In other words, naming a successor was a way to make it generally known that a single unique person would be acknowledged by everyone, and a way to remove any chance of another person becoming an opposing candidate.
グッド。まさにその通りです。あのような碑文の存在はクラウスさんの次期当主の肩書きを危ぶませる意味しかありません。つまり金蔵さんがクラウスさんに当主を円満に継承させたいと願うなら、あのような危険なものをわざわざ人目にさらす理由がないわけです。
そうね。チェス盤をひっくり返せば確かにそう言える。当主は継承するけれども200億の黄金は譲らない、溶けた誰かに譲るというのはおかしな話だわ。
Presumably, if you found the gold, there'd be some instructions there, possibly detailing what actually covered. Who knows? Kinzo would pass on the title of family head. He would only give up the 20 billion yen in gold to the person who sold the Epitaph. You really couldn't call this passing on the headship in the truest sense.
そういうことです。以上の推理により 金蔵さんがクラウスさんを本当に後継者だと認めていたか怪しむことができるわけです。ただ碑文がそこに存在するだけで古田エリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。
This level of reasoning is possible for Kuda Erika. Okay, you seem to like saying that.
いかがでしょうか、ジェシカさん。
なんだよそれ。何が推理だ。デタラメだ。こじつけだ。
Jessica let her emotions lay bare and glared at Erika. Erika, on the other hand, looked exceedingly calm with an expression that said, "Well, that's just the truth, right?" I see. Looks like table manners aren't the only way this girl is fitting with the Ushiramiya family. Seems she really does match her family, even when it'd be better if she didn't.
まあまあ、落ち着けよジェシカ。エリカもそれくらいにしろって。
まあその後継者云々の話は置いといてもやな。いずれにせよお父さんからのビッグクエスチョンやというのは間違いないやろな。200億やで。マリアちゃん、もし見つけたら何に使う？
おお、黄金鏡は黄金だけじゃない。もっと神聖な場所なの。
Uncle Hideyoshi kept trying to force himself to chuckle and improve the mood. Everyone else tried playing along, but Jessica's mood didn't get any better. Nor Maria's.
エリカちゃんも碑文の謎に挑戦してみたくなったのかい？
Somehow she's already solved it.
はい。灰色の脳細胞がうずきまくりです。ですので、謎解きを早速始めたいと思います。
George Anarchy smoothly turned the conversation around. Like the time she'd made everyone laugh in the dining hall, Erika looked about with gleeful eyes and jumped at the chance.
気に入ったわ。せっかくエリカちゃんが面白がってくれてるんだし、また去年みたいにみんなで謎解きをしてみましょうよ。
私コーヒー入れるわ。欲しい人は手を挙げて。マリアはダメよ。眠れなくなっちゃうでしょ。
I mean, in general, what time is it in the game? Yeah, 7 o'clock. That is a bit late for caffeinated stuff.
マリアもブラック飲む。ワクワクしません？こういう謎、私は大好きです。
Erika said that and smiled. Though she must have known that she'd ticked Jessica off and made the atmosphere sour. She just smiled nonchalantly.
別に10月5日の事件を待たなくても解ける謎はあるってわけ。
そりゃ俺もだが。
でもさっぱりわからなかったから投げ出して考えるのをやめたでしょ。
Pissed me off, but I don't have a good answer for that. Good counter for that. After all, I didn't get the epitaph at all. I didn't even know what the beloved hometown means, much less the parts about the Sweetfish River and the key. Thinking that a few more hints would show up if I waited, I kept on waiting and just stopped thinking. Yeah, my guess would be, I think I've mentioned before, but it would be names of something. I think I mentioned in the 3rd episode, like it could be a It isn't necessarily a river directly, but some other passageway. Something that flows one way, not necessarily another way. In order to have an upstream or downstream, or it could just be uphill, downhill, or from major center to elsewhere to a major center. So like a road or something. Downside being, it would be some kind of Japanese word meaning thing, which I'm not going to get. If that's the case. Something to do with sweetfish, or I think they brought up something else related to sweetfish, maybe a specific type of fish. Maybe something that flows, a river. Yeah. I wouldn't know where to start looking, and even if I was to look on Google Maps, kanji is not going to help me in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, in any case, that's where I'm going to be ending it there for today. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.